What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I did want to talk about something here on Forza Horizon 5 that really had me thinking about this even more after I got the Sentra Nismo. Now, we all do know this car is going to be very rare in the game. It is most likely going to be in the lovely backstage eventually, but at the moment, getting this thing is going to be pretty dang difficult. For one, this car is going to be, I think it was in Series 12 or something like that, which came out a fairly long time ago. I believe it was in September of 2022 or something like that, maybe been 23. Either way, though, this car is going to be a few years old just about when a lot of players are looking for it and stuff. It is probably going to be fairly hard to find. But the thing is, though, when I was going after the Sentra guys, I did want to get this car for a specific reason because I've been driving more of these types of vehicles, which if you are wondering what I mean by that, I'm going to mean something like the Nissan Sentra Nismo, the Toyota Camry TRD, the Hyundai Veloster, the i30N, pretty much vehicles along those lines. Even something like the Subaru WRX, you don't see that in a lot of games as well, so I figured I would include something like that in here. But either way, though, I do feel like something about this car had me really thinking about something, man. Am I the only one that likes having cars like this in-game kind of over different supercars and stuff, or am I crazy? I do know a lot of people, it's kind of funny as well, because a lot of people looking at other pages and, looking at different things on posts on Motorfest or even Need for Speed back in the day and a lot of different racing games, there's been one trend I have been noticing with it. And that is simply going to come down to the fact that it does seem like a lot more players are probably looking for these types of cars in these games to most likely be added over a lot of these supercars that most games or a lot of those tend to get. What car is that, bro? What is that blue car right there? I have no idea. I have to find out after the event. But the thing is, though, I have been really laughing a bit because I was seeing different pages and stuff on Instagram. Like, for example, on Motorfest, a lot of people have been asking for the Toyota Camry to be added. I'm like, there is a game with that car at the moment, man. And the thing is, I really don't feel like cars like that are most likely going to be added into games because we all do know right now, guys, most of the time in a lot of games, they tend to add something like supercars or different things that a lot of players want. Like, for example, hypercars and stuff. A lot of people have been discussing in Forza that the game tends to hand you a lot of cars way too easy. Like, you get a Bugatti or something and other things like that, which I will talk about this more in the big review I'm going to do. But a lot of people are like, yo, I don't want to get Bugattis and stuff like that or Koenigseggs. And man, dude, the AI are kind of wrecking me right now. But a lot of people don't want to get cars like that, or like, man, there's no progression. I'm always getting these crazy cars and stuff. Y'all know what's really hilarious? I have barely driven any of them. I'm not even kidding, okay? I have pretty much been driving mainly different cars like this, a lot of off-road vehicles as well, but I've been driving a lot of cars like, for example, the Sentra or like the Camry that's in front of me over there. I was driving the Hyundais a lot as well. Like, I really don't drive a lot of the other vehicles that often, and I do feel like other people might end up being fairly similar to I am. Like, yeah, bro, you're going to be handed Bugattis and stuff, but are you going to use them? To be honest, I don't think so. Seems like my car can actually grip around this corner, man. Yo, okay, this B-build I have on this car feels so dang good for being a front-wheel drive car, man. And that's the thing, like, I'd rather drive around in different cars like the Sentra Nismo or even something like the Camry. And I have been finding myself driving the i30N, also the Veloster, and a lot around. And I have literally been driving those cars more than any of these supercars. Now, the thing is, though, don't get me wrong, because I do like driving around in something like the Turbo S and stuff like that, or, different cars around that line and stuff. Like, I'm not going to be driving around in a Koenigsegg. Do I like them? 150%. I actually love those types of cars and stuff, but I have been finding it more fun seeing vehicles like this in the game, which I think a lot of players are probably going to be similar on. Now, that's not saying that some people probably don't want to see cars like this, because we all do know a lot of people probably want to see different cars, like, for example, faster ones, or, yo, let me get the new Ferrari in the game, or let me get that or something, which I do understand because those cars do tend to be very popular. But at the same time, I'm going to see if I can catch this Volvo, man. Can I? My car's luckily gripping a lot around these corners, which is the only reason why I think I'm catching him. Oh, I don't think I'm going to catch him, bruh. Nah, I don't think I got him. I'm kind of pushing him a little bit. Nah, he's got me. That's kind of crazy, though. But that goes to show on expert difficulty, I probably got to practice a little bit. Maybe a better start there. Let me jump into another race, though. Now, I am going to try a second race here and really try to redeem myself because, my goodness, that other race, I was kind of surprised I lost it. Kind of wasn't. Look at the wing on that Sentra Nismo, man. I don't think you need that much downforce there, buddy, but then again, it would probably help a little bit. So, as I did talk about before, we all do know a lot of players are looking for cars like the Camry or something like the Nissan, even the Hyundais and stuff. And what are y'all doing? That actually makes the race a little easier for me, though. Who would have thought? A lot of people are looking for those types of cars. I'm going to be honest, guys. Will Motorfest or some like these other games ever get something like a Camry? To be honest, I just don't see it, man. I don't think they're going to be focusing on cars like that to be added into the game. And if they were, a lot of people would probably be happy. Then a lot of people are going to be like, no, 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 we want more street-specific cars, or we want more hypercars, like where's the new Lambo and stuff like that. So I feel like that would most likely play a role. And as I have said before, this is probably something Forza's always going to be the king at. The car list alone, man, like I just don't think another game is going to be able to touch it. The amount of different cars you can use in this game, like for example the Sentra or something like that, is probably going to attract a lot more players because you have specific cars like that that a lot of players are most likely going to enjoy. And with that, a lot of people might even own many of these vehicles in real life, and they can probably drive them in game, which is pretty dope. I think people are probably going to look at that and go, yo, I have a Camry in real life, I'd like to get one in the game and stuff. So that might attract even more people because most racing games don't even have it. With that being said, though, there's another thing, in my opinion, I think Forza's absolutely going to own at, and that is going to be the fact that these cars are going to feel fun. Hear me out on this, though. We all do know, once again, that maybe Motorfest with some crazy thing would happen, that we might be able to see some crazy cars in the game, right? Like, will that get a Camry again? Probably not. What car is that, bro? I have to look. Either way, though, I feel like if Motorfest did get a car like that, guys, the other issue it's going to face, I'm going to have to say it, the car's probably not going to feel fun. The reason for that is the Street Tier 1 vehicles. Now, for example, if Motorfest did get something like the Nismo here, it is obviously going to be a Street Tier 1 vehicle. You ain't going to see this in Hyper or Street Tier 2. And I would say Street Tier 1 vehicles are going to feel fun a little bit, but the way their speed is, dang, man, that's not very nice. The way their speed is and stuff like that, I just don't think people are really going to enjoy the way they're driving. Dude, that's not very nice, man. I'm trying to win this race, bro. You mind there, buddy? I'm trying to win this one. That would be a better way to do it. But if the cars were in that game, though, I really don't think people are going to enjoy them. But you know what? Let me talk about this a little bit more. I do want to jump into the Camry for the next event, though. As I did mention before, I had to jump into a race here with the Camry. For some odd reason, I'm having more fun racing this car than I was in supercars. It really is weird. Is this thing going to be the fastest car out there? Well, I am running a B leveled on it right now because I feel like in some ways this is probably going to sound dumb, but I think it makes it a bit more realistic. At least I think it does anyway. Now, as I was saying before, though, if we were to see something like this in the crew, guys, I'm going to admit I don't think these cars would be as fun in there, because one thing I've really been loving about Forza being a brand new player is they are also making these types of cars really fun to race, man. Like, you're going to feel faster in some of these cars. You can still upgrade them. You can all-wheel drive. You can also do different swaps. And you're still going to be able to make these cars feel special, but also they're still going to feel fun, even though, like, yeah, I'm going to be driving a Camry. This thing is still going to be very fun to race and stuff like that. Again, you could do different things to it, make it faster, have it in different classes and stuff like that. And I feel like that is a big win there. But on top of it, Forza really does make every single car feel different in ways which I really do love about it. And I feel like a lot of people are probably going to agree. Like, for example, if they were to add this car into Motorfest right now, I could probably predict a lot of things about it. For example, you're going to be able to add the regular parts onto the vehicle, right? And then you're probably going to have the car do around 180 miles an hour in Street Tier 1. The handling is probably going to be a bit wonky on it. You then have to do some pro settings, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I do feel like players are probably going to want more freedom, or probably have a different feeling vehicle out there than probably driving something like, let's say, Lambo or something like that. We all do know the Camry is not a Lambo, bro. It is going to feel different, and I feel like Forza does a wonderful job at that. And again, I feel like that's one of many things this game is going to do so dang well, guys. Again, I am a brand new Forza player. I have not been able to put this game down, and that was a very bad turn, bro. That was a very bad turn. Gonna be real on that one, but I should be able to catch that. I think that's a Jaguar, I believe. Looks like one anyway, but the way my car handles around corners, like, for example, that's another thing. I'm driving a front-wheel drive Toyota Camry. You can definitely tell with the build I have on this vehicle that, yeah, it's front-wheel drive. It is going to wheel. It's not really going to wheel hop that much because I do have TC on. That way it doesn't, you know, have issues taking off and stuff. I did have a front-wheel drive build one that was also on A. That one was honestly really wonky to drive. Probably have to make it all-wheel drive. but I really do like the fact that when I'm jumping into something like the Camry, the Nissan Nismo or something like that, which is going to be the Sentra, I love the way these cars feel, man. Like, I keep getting, like, addicted to doing, like, a bunch of races in these and stuff. While I do understand the other cars are going to be fun, nope, I don't think so there, buddy. I'm going to have to play bumper cars to beat you, but you know what? That's what it's going to take on the higher difficulties, ain't it? There we go. I managed to win that one. Besides all of that, though, I'm not going to lie, guys. I could probably keep yapping around about this, but I'm sure a lot of you probably do understand where I am coming from, that some cars like the Camry, the Nissan Sentra Nismo, these types of vehicles, I guess you could say everyday type of cars, at least I would say people would refer to them as that. These, to me, are going to feel more fun than something like a super or a hypercar, and I've been having more fun driving these types of vehicles here in Forza than I have been driving many of these supercars. It really does make me laugh because, yeah, you're going to be getting a lot of supercars handed to you in a way, but yet I'm not even driving any of them. I'm driving different cars like this one, way more than those. And on top of that, Forza's also going to make these cars feel incredibly fun, which even adds on to the excitement. Do let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I am curious. Are you guys also looking for more cars like this in games, or are you driving these types of vehicles more than something like a super or a hypercar?